بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. All right, so hadith number 34. Who's memorized it? Nah, go ahead. He was on guard duty last night. So I know he hasn't memorized anything.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا أدلكم على ما يمحو الله به الخطايا ويرفع به الدرجات قالوا بلى يا رسول الله. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought I saw movement over there. That's why I was so confused.
Everybody's all...
I thought someone was trying to break in. So, قالوا بلى يا رسول الله. قال إسباغ الوضوء على المكاره وكثرة الخطى إلى المساجد انتظار الصلاة بعد الصلاة فذلكم الرباط. رواه مسلم.
تستطيع؟
يمكن أبدأ بس.
إيش؟
يمكن أبدأ بس.
قوم اقرأ من الكتاب. اقرأ من الكتاب. طيب.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه
رضي الله عنه قال
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا أدلكم على ما يحول الله به الخطايا ويرفع به الدرجات؟ قالوا بلى يا رسول الله. قال أسباغ الوضوء عند المكاره.
عند المكاره. على
المكاره. أسباغ الوضوء على المكاره. بس يجي.
ها؟ إيش هو؟ واحد داخل؟
لا بس يعني يجي مع الشيء.
هو قال أخذ الأشياء.
لا بس يعني ويخرج من البيت مع الشيء.
هذول كلهم يرجعون.
لا هو يسلم ولا الشخص ثاني بس. هذا الأشياء هو أخذه أمس. هذا مش اليوم.
وكثرة الخطى للمساجد.
وانتظار
الصلاة بعد الصلاة فذلك من الرباط. رواه مسلم.
Every time you guys keep saying فذلكم الرباط, because before I memorized it with the where he said فذلكم الرباط, so I'm like, why are y'all saying it just once? But I forgot that's the wording that I put in the book. Nobody else. أسد. جرب. نحن بنقول وأنت تقول. طيب. قل عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه. Come on. قل. Yeah. All right, so hadith number 35, the reward for the sick person and the traveler. All right, so this is for the person who's sick and for the person who is traveling. And we talked about traveling before when we dealt with the issue about who's considered a traveler when we were talking about this in the during Ramadan, in the book on Ramadan. So what do you remember about that?
Based on the urf.
Huh?
It's based on the culture.
Yeah, it's based on the customs of the people. So what the people consider being a traveler in that part. Because obviously, like, for example, like we talked about, like, for example, like Fresno to Kerman or Fresno to Visalia. These are places that you could literally live in Visalia and work in Fresno. So it's not a mashaqqa, right? And there are people that do that. Yes or no? You guys are all on alert today. Huh?
Oh, okay, because that sounded like mine.
You guys are like on super alert tonight, man. Like, I see everybody looking out the windows, everybody getting along.
That's mine, man.
And I left my Indonesian knife in the car, so long time. My favorites. But all right. So so basically, like, again, now that you're back with us, not being on super high alert. All right, when can you live in Visalia and work in Fresno? Yeah, and it's not like mashaqqa, right? Mm-hmm. But now, could you live in San Francisco and work in Fresno, or vice versa, live in Fresno and work in San Francisco? Because that would make more sense. Because Fresno, I think, is cheaper to live in than San Francisco, right? Yeah. That would be kind of stupid to live in San Francisco and work in Fresno. That would be dumb. That's a major mashaqqa, right? Mm-hmm. All right, same thing with like Los Angeles or anything else like that. So, in those types of cases, no. I mean, even if we were to go to like Yosemite, you see like the mountains. You see the brothers, they come down from the mountains and they pray Jumu'ah with us. Yeah. So I mean, even that would not be considered traveling. So it's still based on the urf, and it's still this area, you know. But now once you leave out of that area, and the mashaqqa begins, when you're out, like you're disconnected from, you know what I'm saying, where you're from, where you're at, you know. So at that point now you consider the traveler, and the combination is to make it easy for the person. All right. So obviously this is dealing with what the person who has like an ad or like a habitual things that he does regularly, and you know, but now he gets sick or he travels, so he's unable to do those things because of these two, you know, these two like latan hatani, you know.
I was thinking about this earlier too. You answered in Ramadan. So if right now if I go to Los Angeles, but I book a hotel spot from here, and I go to Los Angeles and I stay in that hotel for 3 nights, I'm not considered a traveler because I already have a place to stay, and then I come back. That wouldn't be considered traveling, right?
I mean, the ulama, they say like you generally got like three to 4 nights. That's the haqadiyah for us, you know, 3 nights. So you're 3 nights, but then you could stay for even longer. I mean, there's ikhtilaf amongst the ulama about how much, you know, but I mean, the rights of the dayf, the nazala bik, is what? And these are the rights of the dayf that is not from where you're from. Because obviously a person who lives in the city where you're from, he's not going to come and stay in your house for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to give him diyafa for 3 days. You invite him for Jummah, and you send him back to his house. You know what I'm saying? But these are like the youth that come from outside of the area. They're traveling towards to you. So their rights are 3 days, right? So if you look at that and you say, okay, then you got like 3 days you're considered a traveler, because that's, you know, and then after that, it's based on what?
Based on the locality?
No, it's based on a taraddud. Like you don't know how long you're going to be there. So if you're going down to Los Angeles for paperwork to do something, or you're going to Sacramento, that would be probably better because that's the capital, right? So if you're going to you go to like Los Angeles, you're doing paperwork with like a movie studio or something. Well, okay, you're going to like Sacramento, right? Which because it's the capital. So maybe you're doing something, I don't know, passport or something, whatever. So you go there and you don't know how long it's going to take or how long you're going to be. So you're just saying, I'm going to stay in Sacramento until this work is finished. And I don't know how long that's going to be. It could be 2 days. It could be 2 weeks. So if you end up staying there for 2 weeks, what?
That's still a traveler.
Hey, you remain traveling the whole entire time. Now, if your family has a house in Sacramento and a house in Fresno, and sometimes you stay in Sacramento and sometimes you stay in Fresno, then at that point, then you're staying in the family's house.
It's not traveling.
You're not traveling because this is a place that you normally reside in anyways. So once you go there and it doesn't matter about your hesitation or not. Yarhamkallah. But the fact that you don't live there, you don't know, you're a stranger in that area, you're a traveler, then yeah, I mean, you remain as a traveler until you complete whatever it is that you're trying to complete, and you leave, you know, whatever it is. Like, let's say you went for a job interview, but you know, you don't know how long you're going to be because you go for a job interview in Sacramento, and then they might say, well, we need to do a second interview with you. So we're going to call you back in 3 days or something, or 4 days. We'll give you a call. And you don't know. And now you have to remain in Sacramento, even though you just wanted to go there for like a job interview and leave. But now you have to stay longer, right? So now you don't know how long you're going to be. So the whole time that you remain there, you're considered a traveler. Whatever it is, a trucker, you know, if the person driving trucks, the same thing. If he's going to pick up a load in Sacramento and they were like, well, the load hasn't arrived here yet, we'll call you when it does, and go stay up in the hotel, and the same thing. He stays there for a whole entire month, and he's still considered a traveler that whole entire time. But because he never intended staying in that place. He only intended to pick up that load and leave. So the same thing, like you intended only to go for paperwork and leave, but you didn't realize that, oh, now it's going to end up being like a month now, you know, so you're there for a whole entire month. You're broke now, but because you've been spending money on hotels in Sacramento, you're definitely broke. So unless you're living on the garden block or something like that, along with, I don't think you want to stay in a hotel over there. All right, so hadith number 35. So the reward for the sick person and the traveler. And Abi Musa al-Ash'ari رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا مرض العبد أو سافر كتب له مثل ما كان يعمل مقيما صحيحا. رواه البخاري. So Abu Musa al-Ash'ari reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if a servant becomes sick or he travels, And it's written for him, كُتِبَ لَهُ مِثْلَ مَا كَانَ يَعْمَلُ. So what he used to do, what he did as habits. All right, if he's always praying in the masjid, he's always, maybe he fasted Yom al-Ithnain wa Yom al-Khamis. Maybe he got up in the last third of the night, prayed a little bit every single night. Whatever it is, he had like a portion of the Quran that he used to read every single day. These types of things. And now he gets sick and he can't do those things, because he's very, very weak and he doesn't have the strength to do it. Or maybe he's in a coma, maybe he's in a hospital and he's, under severe medication or whatever the case may be, right? So he's getting a reward for those things. So when Monday rolls by and he's in the hospital, he's getting the reward for what?
For what he used to do.
For fasting, let's say, because we say like he fasted every Mondays and Thursday, right? So he gets the reward for the fasting. Thursday rolls by the same. Fajr, maybe he used to read like 2-3 juzes every day after Fajr. Fajr rolls by, he's in the hospital, he can't read. He gets the reward for that. So everything that he used to do as a habit, not something that he would do once in a while, but something that he habitually did. All right. So إِذَا مَرِضَ الْعَبْدُ أَوْ سَافَرَ. So the same thing for traveling, because you can't, when you're traveling, as much as you wish and you try to do those things, it's very, 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 very difficult. It's very, very difficult to maintain like a reading Quran and doing certain things while you're traveling, So you might do the bare minimum things that you can do. Like, for example, if you're on a bus and a plane, you can still pray witr. If you're on a plane or a bus, you can't really just sit there and just start reading Quran, because if you're like me, you got to read out loud. Yeah. You're just going to be annoying everybody. So you sit back and just listen to the Quran. You can't really, you know what I'm saying? You can't really read it, or you just read books, So there's certain things you just can't do, And you can't, so along with that, obviously you wouldn't pray sitting down if you were not traveling, but because you have no other choice and you pray sitting down, so you get the reward for standing up because that's what you were accustomed to doing. All right. The half the reward for the person sitting down is for what?
Half the reward. Oh, if someone just chooses to sit down.
Yeah, he has no excuse for like the nawafil. And he just said, I'm lazy today. I'm going to pray Qiyam al-Layl sitting down. And I have to reward. But if a person has an actual illah, an excuse, that he falls under this hadith, where he gets the reward for whatever he used to do. Sahihan muqiman. All right. So he said, Al-Safara kutiba lahu mithla ma kana ya'malu muqiman, or muqiman sahihan, not sahihan muqiman. What confused me is because he started off the hadith with إِذَا مَرِضَ. So that would be sahihan. Al-Safara muqiman. But you know what I'm saying? But then he flipped it when he went, to the last part. All right, so kana ya'malu muqiman sahihan. So this hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. So this is again another beauty of this religion and how it's been made easy to get all the reward that we can get, even like subhanAllah. But it's also the importance of having these types of habits, because having those habits of doing good deeds and utilizing the time of your health and the time that you have free time. Now, obviously, because you see, like, for example, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar, that you probably heard quite a few times in khutbahs and classes, where he said, فَإِذَا أَمْسَيْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرُ الصَّبَاحِ وَإِذَا أَصْبَحْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرُ الْمَسَاءَ وَإِذَا أَمْسَيْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرُ الصَّبَاحِ وَخُذْ مِنْ صِحَّتِكَ لِمَرَضِكَ وَمِنْ حَيَاتِكَ لِمَوْتِكَ. So here, if a person enters into the evening, that he shouldn't hope to see the day, and if he enters into the morning, he shouldn't hope to see the evening. And you should take from the time that you're healthy, that you're going to be sick, and from the time that you have life, that you're going to eventually die. So the time that we're healthy, we should utilize those times, because these are ni'matani maghbunun fihima kathirun min an-nasi. What are those two ni'mas? As-sihhatu wal-faragh. So the sihha from sicknesses. And the faragh, obviously when you're traveling and doing these stuff, there's no faragh, right? That's been taken away from you, because even though you might have your sihha, you have your health, but you don't have the faragh. So these two blessings that the people have, they constantly have, but they never ever utilize them fully to their benefit. As they're using your health and your free time. So you start to get accustomed to doing those actions. And as you're accustomed to doing those actions, inshallah, then when sickness comes or something comes with, something happens to you where you're not able to do those actions regularly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues, You know, that those actions are still written for you, you know. So alhamdulillah, it's a ni'mah. It's a ni'mah, the beauty of Islam. وإلهنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I got you.
All right, let's do about the